Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So again, it's nice to be making a Division video because, for the past few days I've been really busy, jumping into my little tiny gaming project, and it's taking shape. I'm really excited that some of the problems I've been having, the internet has been, able to resolve a lot of them. Thank God for all the programmers that pour all their knowledge online. I really do appreciate a lot of y'all, and some of them probably don't even know who I am, but hopefully one day we'll put them in the credits section of something of that sort. So I got to play The Division yesterday on PC after a very long time. I've been playing on PS5 for a while, and the PC version of the game actually was not, working very well. In fact, I made a video to that effect, but then they announced the patch, so I held off on that video. It was actually sitting in my queue right now, and apparently the patch did not fix issues that were going on. But at that time, I was really deep playing with the clan on PlayStation 5, so I didn't necessarily pay attention to it. I was focusing on getting all my components to finish up my Regulus. And now I decided to come back, and realistically, it did not run on one of my PCs. I was quite surprised. I was like, man, I'm going to make a video about this. It's not like I click play and the game does not fire up. All that fires up is Easy Anti-Cheat. So I think Easy Anti-Cheat may have been causing some issues, but on my other gaming PC, which I actually dedicate to gaming, only games are installed on there, it actually worked, so I didn't really have too much of an issue. But on returning, it was quite interesting to see the nature of players that are still available playing this game. I got to matchmake with one guy who cleared the very first area of District Union Arena by himself, and then once we took down the last big guy, there were a whole bunch of other guys who came in and matchmade with us with shade levels 3,400 and shade levels 2,600 respectively. I mean, these aren't people that don't play the game necessarily. I'm talking people who had higher shade levels than I do. I mean, naturally, I play on 3 different major accounts, so I mean, I can understand why my shade level is still going to remain low compared to everybody else. But it was a very interesting take on, the way players still are engaging in the Division at this point of the game. And, one of the really interesting things is quite that, I would have thought that nobody was going to be playing. In fact, that was my first concern. But, as crazy as it sounds, all these people, they jumped in and, they basically just started playing the game. Once the game was over, some of them dropped one of them dropped an exotic. I got another bighorn, which I thought was a very interesting way to be welcomed back into playing on PC. Once we took out the boss, I saw an exotic and I was like, oh, I wonder what it is. Well, behold, it was another bighorn that dropped for me, and that was quite interesting. Now, before I even go further into this video, I have to go ahead and put a disclaimer that this video does have a paid promotion in it. A company called Cloner Alliance basically sent me a device and asked me to check it out. The device is a capture device. It's a 4K capture device called the Cloner Alliance Flint 4K Pro. Now, one of the things about doing this sponsorship is because it's something that, we content creators use, and I decided this would be something to basically inform a lot of our content creators in the community that, is about, and it's out there. It's a capture device that captures video footage in 4K, and even the video footage that you're actually seeing here on the screen was captured with this device. Now, I will necessarily not have been too impressed unless the fact that a subscriber mentioned something on the very first video that I captured with this particular device on my PS5. I mean, the comment was to the effect of, hey, this is some nice footage, which I've never necessarily gotten in about the 4 or so years of doing content on YouTube. So it's a device that I feel like content creators might benefit from. I mean, if you want to jump into content creation, there are a series and a host of different ones, but this might be one that you want to take a look into. It captures gameplay footage in 4K 30 FPS, also allows a pass-through of 4K 60 FPS HDR for your game videos, and I did not need anything else for my PlayStation 5. It actually worked directly, which is an issue that a lot of content creators were having. Anyways, back to the video. We're here and, we're looking at basically the fact that this bighorn, just dropped from me out of nowhere. And I was quite surprised. I was quite impressed that I even got an exotic drop from the boss. At this rate and at this point, the bighorn that I got is, I think, my 4th bighorn. I mean, for those of you who've been following, the channel, you remember when I was pretty much talking about, trying to get the bighorn. I was doing streams, and on this, my main character, I've gotten a bunch of bighorns. I just realized, though, that on my PS5 character and my second PC account, I do not have a bighorn yet, so I think that's probably something I'll prioritize since people are still playing the legendary missions, which, is quite nice. For those of you who know, it is my favorite, content in the game, and I do not get tired of playing them as long as you have people who are quite good at actually, playing the content that in the game here. One of the challenges I found on the PlayStation community is because apparently the PlayStation community is constantly growing. So you're finding a lot of new people actually playing the legendary missions. And then there are also a lot of people who, are still not well versed in the art of, building and in the art of dealing with the different AI types in the game. So when you go into legendary missions, you get to, experience some people playing it like it's heroic or some other missions, and then, causes the team to slow down. So I'm going to be quite honest, there has been a little bit of frustration on the PlayStation side, but I haven't really run the legendaries with the clan members at the LCN clan. So I think that's probably why it is. I mean, all those folk there, that played the raids and, even coming to join and play the raids that are not even clan members, they have a lot of experience on this. So matchmaking has been very challenging compared to when I play on PC. Now I have matchmade with some good teams on the PlayStation, but not a lot of them are out there, and even some of them, they kick me or they leave, or they used to anyways when my shade level was quite low. So I believe, now that I have a better shade level, I'll probably be able to find some groups that have a lot of respect for how the missions are played. So for those of you who have not played the legendary missions, who want to get the bighorn, it's not necessarily a game changer of a weapon. It is good nonetheless. They improved its viability. I think they added more rounds to it. It used to be limited on rounds. I think that's what they did. I can't remember. But if you want to get it as a trophy, that's basically what exotics, in many cases will serve as. Not all exotics are going to fit your play style. They're all, in a sense, good for one or two or a few things. Some of them are exceptional, but usually what we do in this game is, we collect them as a trophy type deal. And if you want to, basically do that, I would encourage you to go into the legendary missions to go ahead and start exploring them. If you don't have the builds, nor have the knowledge, nor have the experience, you can learn. And one of the biggest things is I've made multiple guides on legendary missions. I've made multiple videos showcasing different builds that your playstyle may fall into one of these builds. So go ahead and check the description below. I've linked a bunch of these videos. You can start by just watching and getting the experience and getting a sense and a feel for these missions, because yes, it does require a little bit of skill, but I say more than anything else, it requires a lot of patience and a lot of understanding and knowing pretty much the spawn points and pretty much when to retreat. There's going to be a lot of retreating. If your team is really strong, they're not going to do a lot of that, but one person has to be sensible enough on the team, because the enemy AI doesn't necessarily care if your team is strong or not. They can come in with some cool strategies and wipe you guys out. And no, it's as jarring as heroic missions as well. Enemy AI, once they take you out, you guys have to restart. They take out your entire team. But again, on the other hand, there are measures that you can use. If the AI kinds, they use a lot of support stations, so that may require one person on the team running a pulse or running something that can jam a lot of those skills. They use a lot of warhounds and a lot of those mechs that shoot at you guys. So take your time to look through these videos. Take your time to, go into those missions and hang back, do damage from a long distance. Maybe you want to take a sniper build, stay in cover, get yourself a revive, hive, so that if you get taken down, because there'll be snipers, and because you may be doing a lot of damage, the AI could focus on you. This is something that you definitely need to, kind of prepare yourself for. But I would say the experience is worth it. The frustration could be there depending on where you are, but once you beat it the first time, or once you beat any of them the first time, you have the capability of beating the others. It's just a matter of learning, kind of their mechanics and areas that you can actually chill in. So this video is basically showcasing District Union Arena. I'll talk about the other two raids as they actually, did I say raids? The other two legendary missions as they open up in the subsequent weeks for players to go in and farm. I'll be going in just to get my exotic cash. I want to stack a bunch of them until the new content comes out over the next few months. I want to have a bunch of them ready to go. So So that's pretty much it for me. Thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. For those of you that are content creators, feel free to check out the Cloner Alliance device. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'm using it. I was planning on using it for a number of months before I did any kind of review to see what its fidelity is like, but I'm giving this as basically my first impression based on audience feedback. I think for us content creators, that is the biggest thing that we, in a sense, kind of, use to drive our content. So if an audience member enjoyed that quality and was able to notice it, I'm certain that, that's something that more and more people might be noticing. But when it comes to how long the device lasts and all that, give me a few more months. Maybe I'll do an update in a few months to talk about what I think about it in terms of using it after a long period of time. But that initial use and that initial notice from an audience member, I think that was a leaning factor telling me, yo, you need to talk about this and you need to tell your content creator buddies about this stuff. And for those of you who may be, aspiring content creators, I feel like this may be something that would work on your behalf. But I'll get out of your hair. Thank you so much for your time and audience. If you want to find a clan to do raids or do missions with, you can join the Gamey Daddy Discord. You can join the LCN Discord community. This is a Discord community that invited me on the PlayStation to come in, and they took me through the raids and taught me a lot of the mechanics. So I really do appreciate that team of gamers, and I'm happy to basically, put some more attention on them and what they're doing. They're really taking the division and changing the landscape by just, introducing players to some of the missions that are kind of challenging to get into. Talk to you guys in another video. Peace out.